Today, we're comparing the new HomePod 2 versus the HomePod Mini, two similar yet very different products, and each with its own best use case. I'll talk about the similarities as well as the differences between these two, and also analyze and compare some sound tests to ultimately help you decide which HomePod is the right fit for your home. But first, I am doing a giveaway on this brand new iPhone 14. If you want a chance to win, be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment with your Instagram username. And then follow me on Instagram, where I will announce the winner on March the 12th. Alright, so as you know, I like to start off by comparing the prices, as that helps put things in perspective, and that is especially important here as the HomePods are very differently priced. So starting off with the new HomePod 2, this comes in at $299 and comes in two colors. So we have this white that I have here and also a midnight color. Now compared to that, the HomePod Mini is significantly lower priced at just $99 and comes in white, space gray, and a few really colorful options. Looking at the design of the two, you can see that they have some similarities, but are also quite different. So fundamentally, in terms of the shape, the HomePod 2 is taller, it is more of a cylindrical shape, and really has more presence in the room. Now compared to that, the HomePod Mini is almost a sphere and is easier to tuck away in, say, a corner somewhere, and especially in this white, it's kind of like a snowball, you know, a smart snowball. Both the Mini as well as the 2 feature this nice mesh fabric going around them, and this gives the speakers a really soft look. And I think, you know, a speaker, when it's placed in the room, is just as much a speaker as it is a piece of furniture. And I think both of these really will blend in well. I like the mesh design. It adds some depth to the speakers, and especially in this white color, these speakers will blend in really well in your home, especially if you have them up against a white wall. Now the HomePod 2 is of course significantly bigger and also heavier, and that's because it has one high excursion subwoofer as well as 5 passive tweeters to produce the sound. And then compared to that, the HomePod Mini has one full range driver, so that's going to be responsible for all of the sounds, and then 2 passive radiators to help increase the bass. And you're really going to hear the difference in sound quality when we analyze some sound tests very soon. Now both HomePods also have 4 microphones, both the Mini as well as the 2. And these are used for Siri, and I find that Siri generally works really well at finding your voice between the music. So even if you're playing music quite loudly, Siri will still be able to hear you. Now the HomePod 2 does take this a little bit further, as the 4 microphones on the 2 also allow for room sensing technology, in which the HomePod senses its surroundings, in other words, where in the room it's placed, as well as what size of the room it's placed, to help optimize the audio for that. And you can kind of hear that working the first few seconds or so after placing the HomePod 2 and starting some music. And I think this works generally quite well. And looking at the top here, both the HomePod 2 as well as the Mini have these nice glass touch surfaces, and you can see we have your basic media controls for volume as well as the ability to just tap to play and pause music. And then we also get this really colorful interface. You can see here, hey, that kind of comes to life. This looks really nice. You can see it on both here. There we go. Also
Sorry,
on,
I didn't understand that.
There we go. Also on the Mini. I think this is a nice touch. Does it contribute to the audio quality? No, but it adds a little bit of color, even a little bit of life to this otherwise very subtle product. Now earlier in the video, I said that the price was the second biggest difference between these two smart speakers, and the first biggest difference is of course the sound. So I've done several sound tests, and I'm going to play them one by one and then share my thoughts on each. Have a listen. So with this first sound test, you can really hear the difference in soundstage between the Mini and the 2, where the 2 just offers bigger and wider sound across all frequencies. I think there are some areas, especially in the bass and the sub bass, that the HomePod 2 can reach that you just don't find on the Mini. I found also, particularly in the start of the song, you have those higher pitched nuances, and they just sound more clear and clean on the 2, whereas on the Mini, comparatively speaking, they sound just a little bit compressed. Now for perspective, I also briefly threw in my MacBook Pro, and that is to show that both of these speakers, relative to their price and size, are still a big upgrade and really pack a punch. And that includes the Mini, as the MacBook Pro already has really good speakers, so I think that actually says a lot. For this next test, I tried to match the volumes, as of course the HomePod 2 is louder, so what I did was I had the 2 playing at 50% volume and the Mini at 75% volume. Let's see how they perform. So as you can hear, the 2 is still louder than the Mini, even when playing at half volume compared to the Mini at 75% volume. Now at this stage, you can also start to hear the lower frequencies and the bass on the Mini start to lessen. So as the high to mid frequencies continue to go up as you turn up the volume, the bass starts to fall short and kind of cut off. And this is not uncommon for Bluetooth speakers, and you do see this on the Mini once you get to that 60 to 75% volume range, whereas on the 2, the frequencies stay equally balanced. So the bass goes up in power along with the mids and highs, and that allows for more balanced and better overall sound. Now the results of the first and second test are only amplified when I turn the volume up to 100%. Of course, I wouldn't want my neighbors to miss out on my wonderful royalty-free music. So from this test, you can see that clearly the HomePod 2 is significantly louder, where it can comfortably fill a medium to large size space, where the HomePod Mini is more comfortable in a smaller space. I think these sound tests really go to show, and I think explain, the huge difference in price between the Mini and the 2. Yes, the 2 does cost 3 times as much as the Mini, but I think just strictly from a sound perspective, it delivers 10 times the sound that the Mini does. And this I think says a lot, as the Mini is already quite good. And then what is especially cool is you can actually pair 2 of each to create stereo sound. So you can have, say, 2 Minis, so you have one for your dedicated left and one for your right channel. And you can also pair 2 HomePod 2s, also again a left and right channel. And then what is exclusive to the HomePod 2 is this will actually enable Dolby Atmos sound. Now, if you don't know what this is, this creates really immersive and almost 3D-like sound. And another cool feature on the HomePod 2, again exclusive here, is spatial audio. Now, if you've used AirPods, you're probably familiar with this. This is a feature that really places you in the middle of the sound rather than in front of it. It's pretty cool and works quite well. So the sound is good, but these are smart speakers after all. So what makes them smart? Well, first of all, pairing the speakers is super easy. All you have to do is take your iPhone, hold it up to the speaker, and it will then automatically pair. And then once you're paired, you have access to several smart features. Of course, you can also use Siri, so you can trigger Siri by simply saying her name. And again, as mentioned before, the microphones on both the HomePods work really well at picking up your voice, even when there's other noises around, whether it be music from the speaker or other noise in the area, say while you're cooking. Speaking of cooking, this is actually when I find myself using Siri the most. So you can, for example, set a timer, a reminder to order another ingredient, or to do a conversion, say going from Celsius to Fahrenheit. To take the smart experience even further, both the Mini as well as the 2 have integrated humidity as well as temperature sensors, and this is great as this allows you to do more from a smart speaker perspective. In fact, this can not only be used to show you your temperature and also humidity levels in the home, you can also link this data to actions. So if, say, you have a smart thermostat, for example, for your air conditioning or heating, you can have that automatically start depending on the temperature in your home. So this really allows both the HomePod 2 as well as the Mini to sort of act as a hub in your smart home. When it comes to music, both speakers also offer a lot of smart features. So if, say, you have Apple Music, you can ask Siri to play a specific song or genre. You can even ask it to play elevator music, though don't ask me how I know. But I'd say my favorite smart feature when it comes to the music is the ability to play a song on my phone, and then all I have to do is sort of aim it at the HomePod, this whether it be the 2 or the Mini, and it will then automatically start playing right on the HomePod, and I can then control the volume and of course pause and play right on my phone. And this works both on the HomePod 2 as well as the Mini. Now this is not only great to quickly find a song if you say you just come home and you're already playing it on your phone, boom, simply aim it to the HomePod to transfer over. But this is especially great if, say, you have a group of friends over and let's say someone suggests a song. Instead of having to look up that song, get the spelling right, find the right artist, etc., all they have to do is take their phone, aim it at the HomePod, and the music is carried over. Now, what is important to remember is that both the Mini as well as the HomePod 2 do not have an auxiliary port, meaning you can't just plug in a cable to hook up any audio source, and are also not typical Bluetooth speakers in a sense that any non-Apple device can easily connect to them. That said, it is possible to stream any kind of audio through to the HomePod through your Apple device. So in the output menu on any Apple device, whether it be your iPhone, Mac, or your iPad, you can choose the HomePod, whether it be the 2 or the Mini, as the output source, and this will allow you to stream any kind of audio, so for example your Spotify, Netflix shows, or YouTube videos. That said, I do wish Apple allowed for more customization when it came to the HomePod. And again, this applies to both. For example, some of those really cool music features that we looked at are exclusive to Apple Music subscribers. And I think this really goes to show that these products are meant for those in the Apple ecosystem, kind of like the Apple Watch or say AirPods. To get the most out of these products, you really need to be in the Apple ecosystem to maximize their features, and I think also to justify the price. So this brings us to the final question of which HomePod is best for who. Well, I would say if you are in the Apple ecosystem and are looking for a smart speaker, primarily to use for Siri or for connecting and controlling the other smart devices in your home, and with some occasional music listening, I would say the Mini is an excellent option, as it offers all the same smart functionality as the HomePod 2, but does so at a much lower price, smaller size, and still delivers some pretty impressive sound. Now, at the same time though, if you are looking for a smart speaker primarily used for audio listening, for your music, your movies, TV shows, while also having the smart feature sort of on the side of that, I would say the HomePod 2 is an excellent option. Yes, it does cost 3 times as much as the HomePod Mini, but again, when it comes to the sound quality, I can safely say that the HomePod 2 delivers 10 times the sound. But I think regardless of which you choose, these are both really good smart speakers, but again, do require you to be in the Apple ecosystem to fully make use of all of their functionality and, in my opinion, to justify their relative prices. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this comparison video and hope this helps you out with your purchase decision. I think both of these are really excellent products that'll have a good fit in any smart home. Thanks again for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.